All right, this is going to be a relatively short video. I'm going to try to get straight to the point with this one. Now, this is more of just a bit of a warning to anyone who is considering taking a drone on a cruise. Specifically, from my case here, this was with Carnival Cruise Lines. And this is just the process that I went through and the experience that I had taking a drone, the DJI Avata 2 specifically, on my Carnival cruise last year. So this was the very end of 2024, December, and I had a bit of an issue. Now, my cruise was going to the Caribbean, so I had to get on to the Civil Aviation Authority of Bahamas, that's the CAAB, to register my drone. Basically, since I was a foreigner coming into their country, I had to get this foreign aircraft registration. So I had to upload some documents. I had my photo ID, my Part 107 certificate. I had to send all that in, and then I had to pay a $30 fee. Really wasn't too painful. I got the approval. It took about a week, I think, for something to come through email. And I was able to print that approval letter to have with the drone case that I was checking in once I arrived at the port to board the Carnival cruise ship. So let me first start here. I'm going to share which drone this is and kind of the package that I have here. This is just an all-in-one nice hard case that contains the drone. Again, this is the DJI Avata 2. I followed all the rules. I have my registration number clearly visible on the outside of the aircraft. And I also have my goggles. These are the goggles 3. I had a motion controller with me and the FPV controller 3 and a total of 2 batteries. Now, when I checked in at the port, I had to show a security officer this case. I showed her the letter of approval, that I had permission obtained from the Civil Aviation Authority Bahamas. And that document I kept in this case as well, just to kind of keep everything in there. They made me fill out an inventory of everything that was contained within this case, and then they had me sign off on it. And then I closed this, and I even had 2 little locks on the outside of this thing, just so it was all contained and, secure. I did have to surrender this case to security at check-in before boarding the ship, and I was assured that it would be on the security office shelf somewhere on the ship. And when we arrived at port in the Bahamas, I would be able to check it out much like a library book is what they told me. That would be as easy as checking out a book at a library. I would show my ID, my boarding pass, and they would then give me the drone to take out for the day once we arrived at port in the Bahamas. But fast forward to the day that we arrived in the Bahamas, I went down to the gangway where the security office was. People were starting to, get off of the ship now. And I went to the security office and told them that I was there to pick up my drone. And they said, okay, they want someone went to the back. They had a walkie-talkie and they were looking for it and they found it, I guess. But then they came back and told me that they could not release the drone to me. So, of course, I was wondering why. I told them, that I was told that I would be able to check it out from the security officer. And they kind of went back and forth with themselves a couple times on the walkie-talkie. A guy left, came back, left, came back. And each time he was telling me that they were not able to release the drone. And the main reason that they told me is that they did not have permission from the port authority. So whoever was in charge of the port that we were docked at, they didn't have clearance. So I had airspace clearance, but not port clearance, whatever that means. So as I was being told that, the security office wasn't going to be releasing the drone to me, even though I did everything that I was supposed to do with registration and paying the $30 fee and all of that, it was obviously frustrating for me. But I didn't want to cause a scene. I wasn't about to get angry at someone who was just doing their job. It is worth noting that the security personnel on the Carnival cruise ship that I was on, they were great. They weren't being rude to me or anything like that. They were clearly just doing their jobs and trying to keep everyone safe. So I chose not to get upset. It didn't cause a scene or anything like that. I just took it and went about my life and lived my vacation, enjoyed my time with my family without flying a drone. So that brings me to what went wrong? What could I have done to possibly been able to fly my drone? What could I have done leading up to the moment that I was denied my drone. So if I had to do it over again, one thing that I could have done was maybe a couple hours or maybe even better yet, a day before arriving at port in the Bahamas, I could have checked in with the security office just to double check, I guess, that we have the clearance or whatever. Just say, hey, just want to be sure that I'm going to be able to get my drone tomorrow when we arrive at port. I did receive that assurance from the security officer at the terminal when we were getting ready to board the boat, but that wasn't on the boat yet. I suppose checking in with the actual security personnel on the ship could have cleared something up, or if they'd say, oh, I guess we need to call Port Authority to make sure we have clearance for that, they would have had time to do that. It was unfortunate. I didn't get to fly for even 1 second there, obviously, so I just wanted to put this out as a little bit of a heads up and a warning to anyone that's thinking about bringing a drone on a cruise ship, such as Carnival. Check in with the security office. Make sure that they're good to go before the moment that you're trying to get off of the ship, and hopefully you won't have the same experience that I did. All right, if you enjoyed the video, if you found it helpful, please give it a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll catch you in the next one.